Hi everyone, it's Carol Williams with Williams Immigration, and we are back for another Monday morning edition of Beyond the Soundbite, where we talk about all things U.S. immigration. So, I like to dive right in. First thing I want to talk to y'all about is H-1B cap season. You all will get entirely tired of me talking about H-1B cap season, but that's okay. That's what I'm here for. So H-1B cap season. Last week I mentioned that USCIS was having some listening sessions, some Q&A sessions this past week, and they indeed did have those. They were about the enhanced accounts that will be opening up in February. So next month, we'll get some enhanced accounts. What these enhanced accounts will do is they will allow us to not only enter the lottery, so file the registration for the lottery online, they will also now allow us to file the H-1B applications and any associated premium processing requests online through that account. So that's a huge change. However, what those enhanced accounts will not let us do is file any corresponding H-4 dependent applications online. So that is super important to know. But the enhanced accounts, I call them upgraded, enhanced, whatever. They are going to be upgraded and enhanced accounts. They're going to be upgraded for the companies, but also for the legal representatives. These accounts are going to allow much more coordination within companies and allow much more coordination between companies and their outside immigration legal departments. So if you already have a My USCIS account, you don't need to do anything different. When the Immigration Service turns on these enhanced account features, when you log in, they will automatically be there for you to use. So like if you log into your account today, they're not going to be there because we're not in February yet, right? And they haven't turned them on. They will let us know when these new sort of enhanced accounts are live, but you do not have to register for a completely different account. Your new enhanced accounts should bring over information from your current account. Okay. Listen, y'all, it's technology. We will absolutely see some glitches. I don't know what those glitches will be, but it's technology, so we'll absolutely have them. So I recommend, if you have a My USCIS account already and you will be entering individuals into the lottery or entering yourself into the lottery, then I recommend that when those enhanced accounts are active, that you log in as early as possible to avoid any last minute glitches that may happen within the system. The registration amount for the H-1B lottery will remain the same. It will remain $10. So that's not changing, although we are going to get to fees overall in a minute. The Immigration Service has said they are going to have tech talks throughout the H-1B lottery registration timeframe. I suspect some of the topics in those tech talks may be any glitches that they are coming up against and how they have quickly pivoted to fix them. And they also will just be, to kind of give us guidance and walk us through the new enhanced accounts and our new capabilities within the account. So I will say those two listening sessions that had Q&A were extremely, extremely helpful. I'm planning on doing a mailer one to my clients, but also a live, and really kind of dig into those just a little bit more so than I would on a Monday morning, because I know some of you are in the car listening. You told me that through private messages, so I want to make sure that we get through some other topics this morning. But look for more information. Y'all know you get totally tired of me during H-1B cap season. This cap season will be no different, given that we've got some major changes coming up. So the next thing I want to talk to you about are increased filing fees. A rule was released early last year, so early 2023, that would allow the Immigration Service to increase their fees. We haven't seen any movement on that rule in a year now, maybe a little under a year, but since last year. And I have been saying that immigration is a fee-based agency, and so that rule will come down at some point. So now we have seen some internal movement within the government, sort of the whole government process, basically, how they get that process, which I absolutely will not bore you with this Monday morning. But we've seen some concrete movement of that rule. So I suspect we will be seeing an increase in the immigration fees soon, like very, very soon, y'all. And let's be clear, USCIS is a fee-based agency. If you don't know what that means, it means that the agency runs itself based upon the filing fees. So all of the expenses of running an agency are coming from these filing fees. So these filing fees, they don't go down, they go up. By and large, the majority of these filing fees are going to go up. So we're going to have to look at that in terms of planning. I know some of my clients towards the end of the year often ask me, what they can anticipate for immigration in the next year's budget. So some of those numbers may have to be reevaluated, depending on, how many cases you currently have pending within your organization. Those numbers may have to be reevaluated just depending on the number of, individuals that you're planning on moving from some of your overseas operations here into the US. But y'all, immigration fees are going up, and they're going up across employment-based as well as family-based cases. One of the breakouts that we did see in the draft rule way back when, it seems like last year, was that there would be a separate fee if you were filing in paper or you were filing using your My USCIS online account. So we have now seen the breakout for those different types of fees. But we have not seen the final rule. It has not been published yet. So those fees that were proposed are simply that, they are proposed. So the final fees could be a little bit higher. They could stay the same. So I will definitely keep talking about not only H-1B cap season, but also these increased fees, because I think we're going to see increased fees soon. So if you have been waiting because you think the fees are going down, rest assured these fees are not going down. They only ever go up. So keep that in mind. The next thing I want to talk to y'all about are the Department of State stateside visa renewal pilot program begins today, January 29. So it's going to run from January 29 to April 1st. And I have been practicing for quite some time. I knew this program as visa revalidation. What this program does is, because it's a pilot program, it is essentially going to take a small group of people, approximately 20,000 total H-1B holders that meet very specific criteria, and allow them to send their documents to the Department of State in the United States and get a new visa, basically get their visas renewed, only their H-1B visas renewed, without having to hop on a plane and go home. Apply for, and then apply for your visa at home. Now, it's a small pilot program. It is only going to allow roughly 20,000 H-1B visa holders to do this. It is only for H-1B visa holders. It will not work for H-4 dependents. They are not a part of this pilot program. And your original visa must have been issued through a consulate in India or Canada. So right then and there, we're cutting out the majority of the world, y'all. The majority of the world is cut out of this, okay? So if your visa was originally issued from Canada or from India, you may meet the rest of the qualifications, and then you can certainly try to get your visa renewed. If it's ready for renewal, y'all, it has to be ready for renewal, right? It cannot be like, you can't have 3 more years on your visa and try to be a part of this program. They will swiftly shut you down. You also have to be from a country that doesn't have a reciprocity fee attached to your visa, and you must be eligible for an in-person interview waiver. So if you had to have an interview previously and you're not eligible for an in-person interview waiver, visa revalidation is not for you. And that makes sense, y'all. That absolutely makes sense. Someone that needs to have an interview means they need to be face to face with an immigration officer. The whole purpose of this pilot program is to send your documents in without you get the visa stamp and have that, have your passport shipped back to you with a visa in it. So, so that kind of makes sense, right? Um, so keep some of these things in mind. These are not all of the requirements, so just a handful of them. It is a very narrow pilot program. If you think you or some of your employees are eligible for this visa renewal pilot program that starts today, feel free to reach out to my office. We're happy to help you with that process. And the last thing I want to talk about this Monday morning is another national interest waiver tip. So I have seen a lot of questions. I get them in my DMs all the time. I get emails all the time to the firm, and they sound a little something like this. I have 10 citations. I have 15 citations. I have no citations. Am I eligible? Can I will I be a good candidate for a national interest waiver? And the short answer is I don't know. But what I want to say is remember that a national interest waiver has several different criteria. So you have to have a proposed endeavor that has substantial merit and national importance to the United States. You have to be well positioned to advance your proposed endeavor. And on balance, the Immigration Service has to see that it makes sense to waive the usual requirements of a job offer and a labor certification / perm application where we are required to recruit and see if there are qualified US workers, right? So when people ask me whether or not the specific number of citations that they have qualifies them for a national interest waiver, the answer is always going to be, I don't know. The answer is always going to be, I need to sit down with you and have a conversation about your entire background. What is everything that you're bringing to the table? Because the citations only go towards whether or not you are well positioned to advance your proposed endeavor. They're one tiny piece of the puzzle. Immigration doesn't go through an application and say, oh, this person has 15 citations, they're automatic, we're just going to approve them. You've got to show that you meet all of the requirements. So I don't know where and I don't know when everyone decided that citations were like the big thing. They certainly can be a part of your application, but there are some professions where citations just don't make sense. There are not going to be any citations, and they're still approved for national interest waiver. So when we think about national interest waiver, it is so much more than one, whether or not you have citations, and two, if you do have citations, how many you have. It is about your entire application package, your entire background, what you've done in your career, and what you want to do moving forward, what you want to do if the Immigration Service approves your green card. And does what you want to do, will it have a national impact? Does it have the ability to have a national impact? So I understand that people really, really want to know whether or not, X number of citations is going to get them their national interest waiver. But I will always tell you, I don't know. And I don't know because I need to see everything that you bring to the table. So the national interest waiver is much more than the number of citations that you have. So that is my national interest waiver tip of the day. It has been absolutely wonderful, as usual, chatting with you all on Monday morning. Feel free to reach out to my office if you have any questions about employment-based or family-based immigration and you need some help from myself and my team. We are happy to help you. But have a wonderful Monday and a great rest of your day. And I will see you next Monday on another edition of Beyond the Soundbite. Bye.